Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. So this speed build is a bit different because, as you can see, I just built a huge pool on a 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg, and then I deleted a section and I built a house in the center because this is a lake house. I have built something that is remotely similar in the past, I think maybe around November, but this is different, and this is something that I have been planning for the longest time. I wanted to build something that looks a little bit like a lodge and that is located in the center of a lake, just like some type of house that you would visit to have a fancy holiday at a lake. But this is a residence, so your Sims can just move in and live their best life basically. And for some reason I've never built that. Like, sometimes I have something in my mind and I want to build something and it just doesn't happen, or it doesn't look right when I try it, and then, I don't know, a couple of months later it just happens. I don't know why, but this is kind of how this house came about. So by now everyone kind of knows that island living has been announced and we are all super excited for this. I'm going to quickly say this in case you've missed this or if you haven't watched my last speed build. I have already pre-ordered island living and I'm going to start building right away on June 21. And then I'm going to release a couple of island themed speed builds. If there should be something that kind of needs a explanation, or if I can come up with a couple of fun, neat little tricks, because we are going to have some silted foundations, for example, then of course I'm also going to release a tutorial, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. And I'm just going to start building on June 21 and I will see what I can come up with, and I'm very excited for this. Leave a comment down below what you are most excited about regarding island living. I think the trailer looks amazing, all that I've seen looks amazing, and to be honest, I already said this in my last speed build, I have been super inspired to build anything that's really tropical and island themed, and I don't really feel like building anything else. It's just, I don't know, I'm just in the mood to build something island themed. And this is also one of the reasons why I made so many tutorials. I mean, after I released the first stairs tutorial last week, a couple of you were asking me if I could build this on the interior, and this was kind of the main reason why it all started and why I made more and more tutorials. But at the same time, I had a lot of fun and I was really happy to create these because I really wasn't in the mood to build something. Like, all my ideas are island themed, and I know that a lot of you have been feeling the same way. But this lake house, building this was a lot of fun. I mean, this isn't island themed, but there is water around it. There is this wonderful deck where Sims can just hang out and have fun and swim. So I don't know, I really felt inspired to build this, and this was a lot of fun, and this is what it's all about. Build something that you feel passionate about, and I had a lot of fun to create this. So this build's eye catcher is probably the dock right in the center that sits on top of the water. I just used a method that I have used for a bridge that I built in the past. I've also made a tutorial about this and for a couple of other things. So what you want to do is you build a room and then you build another room on top and you delete the room at the bottom, and then you are only left with a room that is floating in the air basically, and you delete the ceiling and the walls around it, and then you have a floating piece of floor, and you can simply use the arrows to just adjust the height and just place it wherever you want, and this way you can create a dock like this. I've also created multiple decks in the front of the house and right in front of the stairs, and there is a little sitting area right at the water, just different things. I really wanted this to look like something that you would expect to see when you are on vacation basically, even though this is a house where Sims can live in. And I was going for a quite kind of romantic look. I wanted this to look very inviting, very happy, very friendly, and as always there's a lot of stuff going on. I added lots of details here. At this point I'm just adding a couple of columns, and for the color I was just going for a very traditional color for a lake house, just very warm colored dark wood, very beautiful, very inviting. And I used the terrain tools a lot for this build. I used them for the stairs as you saw in the beginning, and I also used them for just the house itself because a section of the house is sitting on top of a hill. And this is actually very simple. You just always want to make sure that you start at the bottom, because when you're raising the hill and then you build your house on top of the hill, it's very difficult to kind of add some rooms underneath at the bottom. So you kind of have to work your way up from the bottom to the top. And for this, you just build a room, and then you can build another room on top, and then you kind of expand a section. So the first floor is kind of floating, and then you raise the terrain underneath, and then you kind of have a point of reference. This may sound confusing, but when you go back to the start of the video, see what I'm talking about. And I've also used this method for a lot of other builds, and in my terrain tool Made Easy tutorial, I'm actually explaining this method as well. I'm using a base game plan that I love to use on the slopes of the terrain. If you've been around for a while on this channel, you know that I love this. It's just the perfect plan to do this, and no matter how many packs you have, this base game plant is just the perfect plant to hide the terrain. Of course, you don't have to do that. I like to do that because it just looks so much more polished. I think it's all about the details and about making it all nice and neat, for me at least. And when I just leave the terrain like this, it doesn't look perfect for me, so I just wanted to have a couple of plants there. Placing them was a bit tricky actually. For some reason it just wouldn't let me place them at some point, so I kind of had to add a couple of bigger plants there. I have no idea why. I of course had the bb.move object sheet activated, but it was still giving me a hard time. It was not like that it was telling me that I cannot place it there. It was just jumping around weirdly. I don't know, sometimes that happens, I guess. When you're working with the terrain, these are kind of the things that you sometimes run into, the same as the camera jumping around. Also something that happens a lot when you use the terrain, but I'm still very happy that they added these to the game. I know it's not perfect, and sometimes it would be nice if some things would be a little different. The same goes for the foundation tool, I guess. It would be amazing if we could create some proper split level houses, if they would allow us to do that, but maybe one day, who knows. And here I'm creating a little island inside the pool, and I just used the pool tool for the whole lake. This is just a pool. You could technically also use a fountain, but you cannot place fountains underneath anything, so you couldn't build the dock that I built, for example. And also I think it's cool that the Sims can actually jump in and swim, because this is a lake and your Sims can just have a swim in there if they would like to. The watercolor is part of the Jungle Adventure pack. I just think that a beautiful green color like this is just beautiful, and it makes it look more like a lake and not so much like a pool. There's also, I think, it's either base game or get to work. I'm not sure, but there's another green one available, but I think this just looks too green, like a very uninviting, muddy kind of lake, and this is just a beautiful green color. It still looks very fresh and inviting, and as you just saw, I just added a couple of trellis in just a area where Sims can sit and hang out. I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm going to add a pool ladder over there, so this is just another section where Sims can hang out and enter the lake. I almost said pool. I mean, it is a pool, but it's supposed to be a lake. And here I added a couple of columns, and I kind of had to find the right position. These are basically standing inside the water next to the dock, and these lights are part of the Toddler stuff pack, and they're just amazing because they're perfect for any type of dreamy build. I've also used these for my wedding build that I made months and months ago. So if you're building some type of outdoor party location or a wedding location, these lights are perfect. Of course, you can use them for anything, but if you want to build a wedding location, I can totally advise to use these lights, especially when you size them up a little, because by default I think they're a bit small, and yeah, I think sizing them up makes them look amazing. And this is a Jungle Adventure object, just a wall decoration, so you can create some cornerstones with these, but here I'm just adding stuff to the exterior so it looks amazing, and I just like to have a lot of detail going on. I don't want this to look boring, so at this point I have laid out the whole shape of the house, and now it's just all about decorating the exterior basically. So I also want to take a minute to say thank you so much. During the last week, you guys have shown me so much love, and you always do that. I love all of you. I love all my subscribers and anyone who watches my videos, but the last week kind of felt extra special. There's so many new subscribers, and I would like to say thank you so much and welcome to this channel. I'm so happy that you are here, and no matter if you are a new subscriber or if you've been around since day one, basically, I'm just so happy about every single one of you, and I just love you guys. And this really means the world to me, and I don't just say it like this, I really mean this. I just love creating these videos, and when I just see that you guys enjoy what I do, this means the world to me. And I'm always open for feedback and constructive criticism and all that. And also if you have any type of request, maybe also for tutorials, if there's something that you would like me to explain, then just leave a comment down below. And if you need any help with something, if you have any building related questions, you can always feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can send me a DM on Twitter, for example. I have all my social media accounts linked down below. And thank you so much. And soon I'm going to make a special because we hit 20k on this channel, and I'm so excited for this. So there will be a giveaway, but I'm going to announce that soon. I'm not sure when. And here I'm starting to work on the back a little, and this, as you probably have noticed by now, took a little while. The whole build is quite big. As I said in the beginning, I built this on a 64x64 lot, and I don't know, I kind of love and hate 64x64 lots because there's so much space, and that's a good thing, especially if you love to build some huge and special unique builds, and if you like to add a lot of detail, there is a lot of space. But at the same time, it's just kind of crazy. Whenever you start to build a 64x64 build, don't you just think, oh my god, what have I got myself into? It's just a love-hate relationship. But at the same time, I sometimes wish we had even bigger lots, because I don't know, I love to see what others create on these huge lots, and I don't know, just more possibilities, I guess. But because a big chunk of this lot just consists of a pool at this point, or a lake. The build isn't that crazy huge, actually. As you can see, I just placed it in the back, or in the back of the lake, and there is a lot of water around it, so it's not super crazy huge. There are 5 bedrooms in total. 2 bedrooms are just for grown-ups, regular normal bedrooms, a bed and a mirror and a cupboard and all that, just a regular bedroom. And 3 of them are kids' rooms. 2 of them are regular kids' rooms for kids, and 1 of them is a nursery, actually. So 1 bedroom is for a baby, and it's super cute because 1 room was kind of smaller, as you will see. So I thought that this would be good to just add a nursery, because I felt like it was a tad too small for a regular kids room, and I rarely build nurseries, so I thought it would be fun to do that for a change. And now I'm starting to work on the interior. As always, I just kind of built the house, and then I just started to work on the floor plan. And this area is the dining room area. It's a open concept, so the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room are all located in 1 big room. As you can see, I built a wall there, so this is kind of dividing the room a little bit. Behind that wall where I just placed that blue picture is the living room. So it's still a little bit divided, and I was going for a kind of color combination of a lot of blue. The blue is supposed to kind of represent the water, so it's a lake house, and I was going for a kind of low-key nautical theme. And I also used a lot of wood because the exterior has the stunning brown wood color, and I kind of felt to do the same on the interior, but I did not want to use the same wood that I used on the outside, because as I said, the exterior has this very typical classic kind of like house or lodge color, and I did not want that because I was going for a combination of a modern interior and a very cozy kind of traditional interior. And this wood color is just a bit more on the modern side, I guess. I think this wood color that I used there is part of Spa Day. Spa Day has so many good wood wall colors, it's amazing. And yeah, I just wanted to use something that is a bit more modern, so it's kind of in a way it's representing the exterior, because I always like to kind of continue the theme of the exterior on the interior, but at the same time it's a bit different because I was going for something that's modern and fun and fresh and yeah, just something a bit different. I didn't just want to have a interior that is dark brown and I don't know, I was just going for this kind of look. So you see some traditional elements, for example the armchair that is part of Cats and Dogs that I placed in the corner, but the kitchen is quite modern, for example. I love these Get Famous bar stools that I use because I feel like they exactly represent this. They kind of look modern, but at the same time they look kind of traditional, I think. And here I used a half wall because I felt like this way I could divide the room a bit more, and this area is just kind of like a hallway in a way, and then there's just a little bit of separation going on between the other areas in the dining room. And I used a lot of blue, but as you will see, the kids' rooms are super colorful this time. I had a lot of fun to build them. So the kids' rooms are a bit different because I feel like especially kids' rooms kind of represent the character of the person who kind of sleeps in that room. You know, a bedroom doesn't have to have the same exact theme the rest of the house does. Then it just looks like a hotel, I think. So I was kind of having a lot of fun building the kids' rooms. And here I also decided to use a blue wall color. This is just this beautiful pastel bright blue, and yeah, this is the living room. I added a huge TV on the wall, and there's a lot of space. It's not crazy huge. I mean, when you think of a 64 by 64 lot, you think of these huge houses, but this is kind of okay. It's big, it's not small. I know that a lot of people also think that anything I build is kind of big. I sometimes feel, because I have this tendency to build huge houses, that I don't know, I kind of don't even know what's big or small anymore. So I built a tiny house, and this is kind of always challenging for me, and it's really tiny. It really is. There wasn't even space for a dining table and a sofa. It was my last speed build if you want to check it out. And for me, it's super hard to build something small. And the first time I wanted to build something small, people were like, yeah, this is not really small. And whenever I just say, hey, I built something small or something normal size, people are like, nope, that's still huge. I don't know. I'm just so used to that. So probably a lot of you are probably going to say, no, this is not small. This is super huge. What are you talking about? But yeah, don't think it's that big. I was just working on the hallway, as you just saw. I added a computer there, but I'm also going to build a office, and this is the nursery, and it's super cute. I was going for a very kind of typical, a pink, pastel pink, very kind of a cute nursery, just a perfect room for a baby, and this armchair, and soon we are going to have some proper lounge chairs. And this is extra exciting, even if you don't buy Island Living at all, or if you want to wait until you buy it, for example. They are also going to add lounge chairs to the base game. So we are going to have the Island Living lounge chairs, and then we are going to get a base game lounge chair for free. This is exciting for those who don't want to buy any packs or who don't want to buy Island Living. And also, this is great for any type of base game build, because sometimes you're just in the mood for a fancy, fun base game build, and we're going to have lounge chairs in the base game. This is super exciting in my opinion. I'm always very happy when something gets added to the base game. And these are the kids' rooms, super colorful this time, as I said, almost like neon colored. I don't know, I was just having fun with this. I felt like a kids' room doesn't only have to follow one kind of color scheme like a typical pink or blue bedroom. I really wanted to have fun with this, and I did. So I went totally crazy with the colors, and I think that kids would love this. What's better than a colorful, happy kids' room? Maybe it's just me, but I think it's super weird when in real life a nursery or a kid's room is like super gray or white and there's no color at all. But even as someone who enjoys color for kids' rooms, I know that I went a bit crazy. It was just a lot of fun to just, I don't know, add all kinds of different colors. And this is one of the two regular bedrooms. This kind of follows more the style that I used on the other floor. It's modern but still kind of traditional. It's very grown up, it's still cozy, and this rug just adds a little pop of color. And this is just a very kind of basic bedroom. There isn't that much going on. A fireplace, a cupboard, a bed, a mirror, and that's basically it. And the same goes for this room. These rooms aren't crazy big because I felt like instead of building, I don't know, 2 huge bedrooms, I really wanted to include the nursery, the kids' rooms, and then 2 additional bedrooms, so there is a lot of space. And I really wanted to use this space this time because I not only have a tendency to build houses that are super big, I also have a tendency to build rooms that are too big. And this is something that I kind of had to learn along the way, because the bigger room, it's not always a cute look. I mean, it depends, but it's sometimes really hard to make it look very lived in, homey, and happy. So I've worked on that. I hear my people. And this is the office that I talked about. This is located next to the kitchen. I forgot about that room, I have to say. I just kind of worked on the floor plan. I furnished that floor, and then I went to furnish the kids' room. And I built this over not only multiple days, but I think over a week or something. I just went back to this build over and over again, and then I noticed, oh, there's a room missing, and this would be the perfect office, I thought. So here we are furnishing the office. Once again, very kind of simple and a bit modern. And this is the garden. I felt like there's so much going on in the front section, all that. I mean, this house is all about the outdoor area, so I felt like this house deserves a proper barbecue area on the patio. So that's what I did. Also a fireplace if you want to hang out on the outside and you just want to, I don't know, hang out while it's a quite chilly evening. There's a fireplace going on, and I added a swing set and monkey bars for the kids because it's always great to have that. And this is it, guys. I added some screenshots as always, and you can find the slot in the gallery. I'm going to add all the information down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.